So I want to start off by saying, please listen to the end of this, because I know there's going to be some part of what I'm saying that's going to actually just turn some people off. People watch videos like this because they want to get their ex back. They want to get back in a relationship that they highly value. And I understand that. And part of what I'm going to tell you is important to how you have the best chance to win that person back. But I have to preface it by telling you that, because a couple of the aspects that I'm going to talk about in this video, when you hear them, it's just instinct. You don't want to hear that. You don't want to think about it. It'll tempt you to believe that what I'm really trying to tell you to do is to walk away from them and not give them another try and just accept that you can't be with them. I'm trying to emphasize it right now. That's not what this video is about. That's not what I'm trying to tell you. But some of these aspects are hard to describe because the people that really need to hear them the most don't want to listen. So I'm going to jump right in and try to explain what both of them are. One of them is called lock outcome. In other words, you're just kind of one idea of how you want this to end. You're in a lot of pain after a breakup with somebody that you love. You have that instinct to chase after them, to do whatever you need to. If they gave you a reason why they broke up with you, you want to prove to them that you heard them. You want to prove that you can make the changes. And then you just have this desperation to reconnect. If you can just remind them how good it was in the beginning, then you have a good chance to rekindle, to save what you lost and move on and live happily ever after. It's a very strong urge. And for a lot of people I talk to, a lot of my clients, especially the most intelligent ones, especially the problem solvers, especially the strategists, the people that know how to figure things out, the kind of people that if you give them enough resources, you give them enough time, and you give them a clear goal, they'll figure out a way to get what they want. A lot of times they're very good at achieving things in life. They're successful. They're goal-oriented. Well, it's that same kind of mentality after a breakup that can trigger more pain than you know how to deal with. And because you're a problem solver, your instinct is going to be to hyper-focus on solving this problem. And you start to look at it that way. And in other areas of life, just being tunnel visioned and focused on one outcome serves you well. Being determined serves you in a lot of areas. It serves you in school. It serves you in sports, in competition, in your career. It helps kind of get you to where you want to be. So being locked on one outcome works in so many areas that it's very tempting to believe that it works for you in relationships. It doesn't. That's why you need to understand what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to tell you to turn away. I'm not trying to tell you to just accept that it's over. What I'm trying to get you to understand is that if you don't have more than one outcome that's even possible in your mind, you're greatly limiting the chance that you can get them back. Let me explain why that's true. Let's just say that I decided that I want to be friends with the toughest guy in school, right? It's a relationship basis. It's not the same relationship. I'm not talking about anything romantic, but just to illustrate the principle. Let's say that I want to make sure that I'm friends with that toughest guy in school. Maybe I'm new to school, right? Maybe it's that high school, the old classic two toughest guys in class. But let's say again, I want to make sure that I get along with that person. If that's my goal and that's my only outcome, when I get around that person, it's going to affect how I react. It's going to make me super nice. It's going to make me obliging. It's going to make me find a way to talk about what they want to talk about, to be interesting in the ways that I think they'll find me most interesting. In other words, it's going to make me shift and adjust my natural behavior and some of the strongest things about my personality, because I'm locked on communicating and getting one outcome. In that situation, sometimes the best way to guarantee a relationship is to have the strength to accept that it's not going to happen. In a relationship, especially a romantic one, part of the tension that keeps people together is knowing that there's a boundary, that there's a line, that each one of them knows that they're not with each other out of desperation. So when you have this lock on the outcome and you won't let yourself accept any other alternative, like this is your destiny, this is your soulmate. And I've had so many people say to me, like, that's the only outcome that I want. I'll do whatever it takes. Just tell me the right steps. I just want to give myself the best chance to win them back. That's why I'm telling you this. I'm not trying to sabotage you. I'm trying to tell you the best chance to win somebody back is that you have to hold on to that willingness to walk away. It'll show up in ways that you don't anticipate. It'll impact you in ways that you can't foresee. Being able to walk away is going to communicate a strength that is a vital part of attraction. If you don't have that, you're sabotaging yourself. And in those moments when you need to be able to project strength, that desperation, that voice in the back of your head, don't stand up for yourself. Don't give them time away. Don't stick to no contact. Find a little way to let them know that you're still here. Find a little way to let them know that you still want them. You'll have that little voice that refuses any other possible outcome pushing you, and it's actually going to change some of the most attractive aspects of who you are. So keep that in mind. If you really want the best chance to win your ex back, You have to hold on to the realization that you still have to be willing to walk away. Another thing, the second thing, and again, it's going to sound like I'm telling you that, hey, I'm trying to trick you into not getting your ex back, and I'm really not. The second thing is, once somebody, especially in the cases where your ex was really the one in pursuit of you, and for the majority of the relationship, they were a little bit more in love with you, and you felt like the one that was a little bit out of their league, and then something shifted, and maybe you realized you took them for granted. Maybe when they broke up with you, they told you you took them for granted, that you didn't make them feel important enough. They give you a list of reasons that they're breaking up with you, and now you lose this person that you thought would never break up with you. And it puts you into a tailspin, and it triggers that hyperfixation, that desperation to get back to what you lost. In those situations, it helps you to stay in no contact by contemplating the possibility that maybe that person who broke up with you, just at the time when you were really ready to give them what they needed, when you finally woke up and realized, hey, this person really is an exceptional person in my life. They've loved me for a while now. We've been together for a long time, and I never really gave them the attention that they deserved. Maybe I've never been as invested in them as they are to me, and I really want them to know that, hey, I'm all in with them too. And right after you did that, they actually broke up with you. Maybe right after you came to that realization, they said something like, it took you too long. I shouldn't have had to wait this long. Why didn't you realize this sooner? I'm sorry, I want to be with you, but I just can't get over the past. I can't get over the fact that I've been chasing you this long. For whatever reason, then they break up with you. When they break up with you like that, it's very natural to think, this is how it could have been when things were great. When we were in those stages that they were really in love with me, I just want to get back there. If I can just get back to that level, now I'll know how to cherish it. I'll know how to take care of it. I'll know not to take it for granted. And if I could just get back to there, we could live happily ever after. Well, think about this, both for men and women. But a lot of times the person who is in love with you while they're in pursuit of you is not really the truest version of that person. It's just natural for us to think that way. When somebody breaks up with you and they give you the list of reasons why, it's easy to think that who they were before they broke up with me, that's who they really are. How they felt about me before they broke up with me, that's really how they're supposed to feel about me. I just need to find a way to get back to that place. I need to find a way to get back to them seeing me in that way. But what we forget a lot of times is when somebody's in the pursuit mode, that's driven a lot of times by ego. A lot of times that's driven by that challenge, that they see you as kind of unreachable. They see you as just out of their league, or they see you as kind of their Prince Charming or Princess Charming, however you want to look at it. But they see you as just a little bit above them. So while they're in pursuit, some of what they're feeling for you is based on ego. It's based on the challenge of being able to attain the person that just seems a little bit too good for them. But now you think, well, that's the most accurate version. This one that's now taking me for granted, or this one that's just kind of got fed up and doesn't want to be with me anymore, that's not the true version. I caused this. I ruined the relationship. I want to try to get them back to how they really saw me because that was the truth. But what if that wasn't the truth? How somebody feels about you, treats you, sees you, and values you while they're in pursuit of you is not the truest version of who they are. How they treat you when they know they've caught you. How they value you when they know you truly love them as much as they love you. That's the truest version. So just imagine how they've treated you since they stopped feeling that limit. How they feel about you when they realize that you're actually willing to commit to them as much as they've been willing to commit to you. That's the most accurate version. So how they've treated you since then, that's the person you're really chasing. The back and the forth, the unsure, the punishing you for the beginning when maybe you didn't like them as much as they think you should have, feeling like you're walking on eggshells. Don't think that that's the untrue version. Even if you catch them, there's a good chance that back and forth and that uncertainty and taking you for granted, that might be the person that you're actually hoping comes back. That might be the one that you're hoping to spend the rest of your life with. So just think about it. I'm not trying to talk you out of wanting to be with them. I'm just trying to give you a couple of aspects that when you think about it, it makes no contact easier to stay in by just a little bit. It doesn't make it easy. It makes it a little bit easier. It gives you a little bit more of a sense of strength. Takes a little bit of the desperation and a little bit of the edge off. And that's what you need. That's what helps you stay in no contact. That's what helps you project strength even when you don't feel strength. So just keep those two things in mind.